anything that will block what God has for you, rebuke it. Hey everyone, it is Destiny Cecile. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hey queen. A lot of you guys are new. I've been getting a lot of subscribers. I think in the past week I've gained 80. So I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning into me, because what? January 31st right now. This long month is coming to an end, and I wanted to do a quick story time with you guys, kind of explaining my discernment, because I've been making a lot of shorts. If you guys have been tuning into my YouTube shorts, I've been talking a lot about my discernment. So I wanted to make a long form video explaining my discernment, when I found out I had discernment, how I use my discernment, and things like that. So I'm getting ready right now, but I think I'm pretty much done with my makeup. Just all my makeup is just laid out right here. But I always knew I was gifted since I was really, really young. I always knew there was something different about me. I used to just say, my name's Destiny, so I could tell the future, because I was very good at telling what was going to happen. And that was just something I used to say as a kid, until my sister taught me what discernment really was. And then I was like, yeah, I got that. Discernment is the ability to tell between a good spirit and an evil spirit. And with me in my journey with Christ, I've been able to really tell the difference between good and bad. And I've been able to kind of tell what's about to happen, not specifically in detail what's going to happen, but just knowing that something good isn't about to happen, or this friend isn't about to lead you down the good path, or whatever the case is. And I've come across so much people that within first glance I know they aren't going to be a good friend, or I know they aren't going to benefit me in my life, or they aren't going to be there for me when times get rough, and I could just honestly tell. So starting off in high school, that's when I realized my discernment was a real thing, because in high school is when I decided to really buy my Bible, read the Bible, and actually have my own individual relationship with Christ. That was, I want to say, my junior years, when I was like, okay, I need to get closer to God. My junior year was the year of quarantine, so I spent that entire school year at home. And I had this friend, best friend. Together we found our best friend, and he had a brand. He was a singer. He was amazing. Like, everything you could ask in a friend, he gave the best advice. He was a little older than us. He gave the best advice. We'd always speak to him on the phone. And this was starting towards the end of September. So all kind of throughout October, we spoke on the phone. And there was this one day we got into this really dumb argument. Really dumb. So me and my best friend at the time, my girl best friend at the time, we got into it with him, and we just stopped talking for that day. At least that was the one day we just stopped talking. And for the rest of the day, we kind of just were upset with each other. We said things to each other, and we all still kept each other followed. And me and her were talking. Now nighttime comes, and he's viewing both of our stories really, really fast. At this time, he was on my close friends. And I told her, I'm like, yo, is he bored? Like, he's literally viewing my story super, super, super fast. And she was like, no, same here. And we both screen recorded. We're like, he must be really bored where he's at. He's not talking to us, so he must be really bored. And something, I had this gut feeling, something was telling me, Destiny, apologize. It's not worth it, and I'll forever, hold this to my heart. Even though I've learned to forgive myself, I'll forever hold it what if I did reach out to him that night? So the night continues on. It's about 11:30 now, and I'm listening to music. I always listen to music before bed. Always. I always listen to music before bed. So I'm listening to music, and on my playlist, the little recommended list, it says I'll Be Missing You, that song. And I'm like, that's weird. I haven't listened to funeral music since earlier the year, because my uncle had passed away that year. I'm like, that was the last time I listened to funeral music. Screenshot it, show my friend. I'm like, why? It was just kind of it's kind of weird. And I had a really bad feeling about it. And, the night continues on, and something tells me, hit him up. Don't hit him up. So I wake up the next morning at school that morning, and I just went directly to Zoom. I woke up, if you were in quarantine, obviously the laptop is in your bed, the Zoom's open, you're still asleep. So Zoom was open and I was still asleep. When I had got up, because the class was over, I got up to take a shower and I'm checking my phone now. I'm on Instagram and a whole bunch of our mutual friends are posting to pray for him. And as soon as I saw one story that said pray for him, I called my friend. I said, why is everyone saying pray for him? Like, what's wrong with him? And, being from where I'm from in California, I'm not from a dangerous area in California, but people could just be weird and shady. People could just be weird. It's just how it is there. So I got scared. And she was like, I don't know. And then I truly believe this was God. God wanted us to find out at the same time. So I go back to that same person's story, click the next story, and it says rest in peace. And I was really confused. I was really confused. I was 16 at the time. I was very confused and I was mad. I was mad. I was so upset. And I don't really remember everything that happened because to be honest with you, I kind of blacked out. I don't remember everything that happened. But that situation right there alone, from that point forward, I knew I had a gift. I knew it. I was like, something was telling me something was wrong. And when you're close to someone, especially how close we were, and this could go with your friends, you can tell when there's something up with your friends. Like, you can just tell. And God was telling me, God was signaling me. And I truly feel if you have discernment, it could be a really good thing, but it also has those times where it's like, dang, like you can really reap what you sow when you have discernment. Because when God is telling you to do something and you choose not to listen, you're going to find out. Whether that's a good way or a bad way, you're going to find out. And you may not like it, but unfortunately, God just has his ways of showing us things and we have to take it and apply it to the next situation. And in this case, this was it. So I had a really tough time putting my faith in God after this. I had a really tough time trying to pray and open up because I was like, we were good until we weren't. And then as soon as we weren't, he passed away. So I forever held that to my heart. And I feel like from that point forward, not only did I find out I have a gift, but from that point forward, I grew up. I could say my childhood ended at that moment. That point forward, I started handling situations like an adult, and I started seeing things for the future. I always used to live in the moment. I always used to just say things in the moment, but you have to think about in the long run, especially. And I would say last semester for me was a really hard semester. If you're close to me, that was a really tough semester on me, both mentally and physically. I do feel like last semester was supposed to kind of be my isolation period. I really should have just stayed to myself last semester and focused on my relationship with God. But I didn't because I kind of saw someone last semester. And again, having discernment could come with its goods and its bads, but I saw this person and I seen that they needed help. And when you have discernment, you can't you have this feeling like, no, I have to show them, but usually that's just how we typically end up being the black sheep. We typically just end up being that person that some people just kind of view as confusing and some people view as weird. And I just saw this person and I just was really drawn to him. I'm not gonna lie, I was very drawn to him. And I had dreams, multiple dreams of God telling me, he's in need, but let him go. And I didn't listen. I remember beginning of November, I had a dream. God was like, don't trust him. And me being me, nah. It didn't click in my head what was going on. So I just continued talking to this person and did I find out? Did I find out? I actually had a dream the night before everything unfolded, the night before everything came to the surface. I actually had a dream and I actually told him about it. I told him about the dream. And the same thing happened the next day. The same thing. There was just different people were in the dream, but it was the same exact dream. And at that moment, I didn't know how to react, because at this point, like, I'm not going to share too much detail, but at this point, I was so tied in with this person that leaving them just felt unreal. It was just like, no, like, even though he did undescribe, like, y'all, like, the most unthinkable. Like, you would, like, even when I told, because my first roommate and I, actually, my first roommate that I had last semester, we fell out and I ended up having to move out of the room. But we recently just reconnected, and honestly, we, like, even when I was in the room, we had like a really tight bond, and she knew about this person. And she, like, when I told her everything that happened, she was like, no way. Like, it was really just undescribable. Like, I can't, you wouldn't even imagine it, like, especially if you knew this person that I'm talking about, if you knew me and his bond. Like, it really didn't even make any sense. It really honestly didn't make any sense. It was just kind of like a wow. So I definitely reaped what I sowed, because earlier in the semester I did things that I wasn't proud about either. So I definitely will say I reaped what I sowed last semester. And I just always knew that there was something off. I always had this feeling, but I didn't want to act on it. I didn't want to act on it because I didn't want to believe it was true. I didn't want to believe that he could do something like that. I didn't. Nah. Him? Nah. I don't want to believe that. Discernment is a gift, but if you don't use that gift to the best of your ability, you will find out. You will find out. I couldn't even describe to you how hurt I was when I found out about this situation, but I was just like, listen, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. It happened right before my winter break, and I live in California, so I'm like, I'm about to go home. You know, I'm just gonna take this in, and I'm gonna go home. So I went home, winter break, and I got to regroup myself. And honestly, if I didn't have God, and if I didn't have, you know, the friends that I have around me, I don't think I would have came back this semester to this school, at least. I don't, because I kept saying, like, I'm not coming back. After this, after all this, making me look that dumb, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. And I came back. I'm here. And I'm not going to give up, even though this situation is still very, very fresh to me, even though tomorrow is literally February. In my head, it is very fresh to me. It's a very sensitive topic, even when people, like, bring it up. Like, sometimes I don't like speaking about it. The more I open up about it, the more I realize, like, I'm not the only person that has gone through something this traumatic. I do feel it was very traumatic for me. But I just learned to grow with it, honestly. And, you know, coming back to school, I'm in really close proximity with this person. Really close. You probably hear me right now. Really close proximity. Something is for you, it's gonna come back. Or if that person's meant to be in your life, somehow God will find a way to put them back in your life. But it's not my job to reach out. It's not my job to, you know, put forward too much effort, because at the end of the day, I'm living my life, that person's living their life, and it is going to be what it is. But I don't regret it. I don't regret my prayers for this person. I don't regret, you know, the times where I sat down and I just cried. I don't regret any of that. I would do it all over again. I would honestly do it all over again. And that's with coming with having discernment, is you have a very big heart. And a lot of people don't understand why you have such a big heart. And it's because you look at this person, and whenever I look at people, I see them for in the long run. I know we're all children of God. We all sin. We all do things that will hurt other people. So for me to judge the next person, who am I? Especially with what I did. I mean, who am I? When you have discernment, you are able to just listen. You're able to tune everything out, and you're able to just kind of focus. And if you don't, you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out, and it's gonna hurt. Based on getting discernment is obviously praying for it, and how to know that you have discernment is you just know. You just know. Like, there's the TikTok sounds. People make TikToks all the time about it. Like, that one trend, you don't know me, but I know you. That's proof that Jesus and God is real. I don't know who needs to hear that, but that one TikTok sound, yeah. And then another one, when you know, you know. I can't really describe it. Discernment comes in different ways. I know for me, it's through my dreams, but I know discernment could come in many different ways. Discernment is something that if you have, you shouldn't take lightly at all. You should really listen to the signs. You should just know that that gut feeling you have is the Holy Spirit, and you have to pray. You have to pray on it. Ask God to reveal. Ask God to reveal. And that prayer, that one prayer that will always work. God, if this person is not for me, remove them from my life. That prayer works every single time. Every time. And when you are praying, it is important that you say within your prayer, I am speaking to Jesus Christ, because he is listening, but there is somebody else listening. If that person comes back into your life randomly while you're doing good, it was not God sent. It was not God sent. Someone else is listening to your prayers. So when you pray, make sure you are focused and you are speaking to Jesus, and you are not speaking to any other thing that is listening to your prayer, because you think that God sent that person back into your life. Whole time it is the devil. Whole time. So it's very important that within your prayers you are stating, I am speaking to Jesus Christ. Anything that is not of him, I rebuke. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. From experience, I'm telling you, there has been other things listening to your prayers. Especially when you start doing good in life, someone else is working overtime for your downfall. Somebody else is praying. I'm serious. There's someone out there that literally, even if they're not praying, there's someone out there that is the power of the tongue. Let me talk about the power of the tongue. There's somebody else talking nonsense to your life. Nonsense. Even if they're not actually sitting down and praying. If somebody says, that's why in your prayers you want to rebuke anything that anybody is sending to. Sorry, my African accent's coming in. Sorry. But anything anything that will block what God has for you, rebuke it. Rebuke it. I'm telling you, girl. I'm telling you. Start your 2024 off with rebuking things. Always. When I'm in my dorm chilling, like I honestly could just be playing my Switch or doing whatever, I feel a bad aroma. And I just say, I rebuke you. Go. Back to sender. Back to sender. Not me. I'm telling you. It works. Because as soon as they know that you are aware, they run. Girl, I don't want to turn this into a whole sermon now, but I just wanted to do a little chit chat. And sorry if this was kind of like unorganized, because I feel like when I'm editing this, I'm just like, girl, what are you talking about? I hope you guys have a blessed day. And I just wanted to say that discernment is real, and ask for it and you will receive. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.